everyone, I'm Rebecca McLaughlin-Duane, and this week we're talking new technology and entrepreneurship in the Middle East and North Africa. And according to a funding report by Magnet, that's a platform tracking the growth of MENA startups, some 260 companies attracted more than $560 million worth of investments last year. Many analysts see the trend continuing, with the UAE showing particular strength, not least because of the number of accelerator schemes and forms of alternative financing. We'll speak to an early-stage business owner teaching children how to speak foreign languages through the medium of film, plus an angel investor focused on female-led tech startups. But first, Salim Saeed investigates the blockchain revolution taking place right here in the UAE.
This expanse of flashing lights is the new digital universe. Each dot, a computer connected to a network, and also a vault, documenting millions of transactions happening on the internet. That's the concept behind blockchain technology. It cuts out the middleman, so instead of paying third parties like a bank to guarantee an important online exchange or a lawyer to validate an agreement, blockchain archives it all. The content is stored as public records, which are easily accessible by anyone with an internet connection. The concept of blockchain first emerged about 10 years ago to protect digital cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, online money that's secured and not tied to a bank. But today, it's being used by companies in a wide range of sectors worldwide for other types of deal flow. Sheikh Hamdan, director of ClickChain UAE, an Abu Dhabi-based blockchain and IoT, or Internet of Things company, sat down with me to explain how tea farmers in India are using his technology to strengthen their businesses. An IoT device is planted in the soil where the farmers' crops grow to measure things from humidity and acidity to pesticide levels. Blockchain certifies this information so that buyers can trust it and even verify it themselves online rather than just believing what's printed on the label.
The most important thing in blockchain is that data cannot be corrupted. So once the data is there, it is there. So no one can edit it.
The UAE's plan is to convert 50% of all its government transactions to blockchain as part of their strategy for 2021 and reduce annual labor time by 77 million hours. The Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange, or the ADX, is the first stock market in the MENA region to adopt blockchain into its services, and just the third index to do so globally. ADX announced its partnership with the UK financial technology firm Equichain, with the goal of increasing the speed and security of capital market transactions as the world economy continually evolves the way it does business. Blockchain also threatens to disrupt the region's remittance industry and change the way money is sent back home by the UAE's millions of expatriates every month.
According to the World Bank, on average, the cost of remitting money from one place to another is about between 7 to 20%. So if we take the lower band, which is 7%, on $26 billion, which was what the overseas Filipino workers have remitted back to the Philippines, that's $2 billion that the economy of the Philippines has lost just in fees.
With blockchain certifying these transactions automatically, the fees commonly charged by bank intermediaries for the transfers will completely disappear. And things could go even further, with some experts forecasting financial institutions may become unrecognizable.
It will force upon established legacy institutions, like banks, for example. They have to change their business model, otherwise they're going to be obsolete. And I predict probably within the next 5 years, banks as we know them today, they will not exist anymore.
The UAE's entrepreneurial ecosystem is being helped along by a growing community of angel investors and professional mentors. Not only do these investors provide important cash flow for startups, they're also a source of great advice for new CEOs. Tunisian entrepreneur Amal Bahloul launched her company Lights Camera Learn 3 years ago with the main aim of educating children through the art of filmmaking. Her approach was to take groups of youngsters, often Arab-speaking and including many Syrian refugees, and have them write, perform and produce English-language short movies to help them connect with different cultures and to share their own unique stories.
Our purpose here is to really create an impact, and to do that we need a lot of help, especially to scale our numbers. So far, within 3 months, we educated 179 kids, we've created 24 short films, done 7 red carpet events in 4 different countries, and hopefully our nonprofit message will attract the right type of people to come work with us.
Amal's startup has now expanded its footprint beyond the region, with her workshops being held in countries from the Emirates to Tunisia and France.
Well done, Ra. You've completed your task.
The company's growth has benefited from the support of angel investor and business mentor Elissa Freiha.
Elissa is one of those just boss lady women that is all about kind of helping the next generation. So anytime I have a problem or I'm a little confused, she'll just sit down, she'll hear me out, and then she'll give me like practical, like go see a lawyer, go do this, like step-by-step action plan on how she did it and how she would recommend that I would do it too.
4 years ago, Elissa, who's been named one of the most 100 influential MENA women under 40, co-founded MENA, the region's first female-focused accelerator. She has advised Amal on everything from her balance sheet to boardroom reshuffles, and extends the same attention to her tens of other interests, which span the sectors of healthcare, F&B and retail. When it comes to launching businesses in the region, women make up only around 14% of the demographic, according to a report by ArabNet and Dubai SME. And Elissa is passionate about pushing that number higher. If female entrepreneurs have a bright idea and a working product, they might just guarantee themselves seed capital of anywhere up to $1.5 million. And as for the 400 angels and high net worth investors in Elissa's network, well, they can on average expect to see a return of 10 to 100 times their investment within 5 to 7 years. Ahead of Dubai's Expo 2020, Elissa forecasts that a record number of innovation-led companies will emerge in the UAE, as will the largest venture capitalist fund she's ever launched in the region. Elissa, welcome to Inspire Middle East.
Hi, Rebecca. Thank you so much for having me.
Comparing the MENA region to other very developed markets when it comes to startups, how would you sum up the situation here? How are we doing?
Honestly, I think this region is the most exciting startup space globally right now, for the simple fact that the potential is still untapped. The resources are there and they're getting put into place. The global attention is starting to turn, and we have that potential. We have those amazing entrepreneurs. We have that technological talent, but they're just not being put together in the right way yet.
Within your personal portfolio, you have interests in around 40 international startups. How did they make the cut of the thousands of applications that you received?
I've developed some very close relationships with very influential individuals in the venture capital space whom I really trust to refer certain deals to me. So yes, we do see hundreds, if not thousands, of deals through organic applications and personal encounters. But the most exciting deals that I tend to invest in are the ones that come from a personal relationships with the founders, where we really connect with the people.
You're always on the scout for real-world technology companies that can enhance the way that we live. So which ones have really made an impact so far?
Well, one of my favorite companies right now is a company called Alam Health. It was actually our second investment as MENA, and it's a company that has a machine learning algorithm that helps individuals assess radiology scans better. So it basically saves lives. It's a technology that's really revolutionary that can help a lot of people. And the fact that they've been operating in emerging markets like Afghanistan and Nigeria since we invested in them means that they're really helping people who may not have access to that specific healthcare.
What kind of capital are you looking for these angels to invest, and what kind of return on their investment can they expect?
For our investors within MENA, we understand that a lot of them are first-time investors. So we have a minimum investment of about $10,000 per deal, but we try to tell them that they need to diversify and invest multiple times a year. So we're expecting that they're probably going to invest about $30,000 to $50,000 per year in this asset class.
So it's a long game, high risk and high reward. Is that what you're telling me?
Definitely. High risk, high reward, long time frame, but it is by far the most exciting asset class that an investor can invest in. And the most important element is that it's all about collaboration. You're investing so early on in the life cycle of this business that you are working directly with the founder. You know, down the line, the CEO might not be the founder. The passion might not be the same.
It's not easy for new businesses, is it, for any startup? And especially when it comes to that investment cycle, getting the right amount of money at the right time. What's the biggest challenge for new businesses in that regard?
I think this region makes it a lot harder than most to raise funding. So our startup founders, you know, not only struggle to raise funding, but they struggle for ridiculously long amounts of time. Sometimes it takes them 12 years just to raise, you know, $500,000. And in the United States, that might take, you know, 2 months. In Europe, that might take 5 or 6.
Now, you seem very passionate, very engaged with your business. What keeps you going, drives you, and inspires you?
This passion, I think it's one of the benefits of being a startup founder and having your own company, that if your company at any point doesn't get you excited in the morning, then you have the power to change it. So I make sure that everything we do on a day-to-day basis is something that excites me.
Elissa, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Rebecca.
Well, that's a wrap for this week. Before I leave you, here's what caught the attention of the Inspire team on social media. And don't forget, you can catch all of our episodes at euronews.com. Marshall from Pakistan showcased her online media company called The Tempest for diverse millennial women at Sharjah's Entrepreneurship Centre. And Lebanese entrepreneur Jihad, the co-founder of the pre-loved shopping site Saili, stepped away from the office to hang out with his favourite philosopher, Alain Dubuton.